Well, the whole idea of reconciliation is about building those strong relationships between Indigenous Australians and the broader Australian community. And National Reconciliation Week is, I guess, an opportunity for us all to really focus on that. It shines a spotlight on the work that we need to continue to do. And it really gives a focus for non-Indigenous Australians to engage in conversations, activities, cultural events, tourism opportunities, anything where they're connecting with Indigenous people and Indigenous culture. And I think the theme of Reconciliation Week, as you can see from the banner behind me, now more than ever, it's important this year. It's important in 2024, more than it has been for years. I think as an Aboriginal person and for other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people, there is a sense of why are we doing this? On the back of the results of a referendum last year, there's a sense of, are we in this on our own? So I think it's really important for Indigenous people, non-Indigenous people, sorry, who may have taken a back seat last year or maybe were vocal and supportive, but didn't take the action to actually lead. This year, we're going to focus on engaging our staff in some tourism experiences. So there's a great cultural experience on Sydney Harbour that many of our staff haven't done. So we'll be engaging in that. That's obviously really important for us to always connect with Indigenous tourism operators. There's also a conversation we're going to have in our office, similar to the TV show You Can't Ask That, but we're going to allow our people to raise a whole range of questions anonymously, which they've been doing, which myself and another Indigenous woman will kind of talk through, help unpack, so that we have a really safe conversation around a whole range of topics related to Indigenous affairs that some of our people haven't had the opportunity to ask. So it's that combination of connecting with Indigenous tourism experiences and sitting together as a group and having some meaningful conversation that might actually be a bit uncomfortable for people. So, and that's an important part of what reconciliation is about as well. All organisations, large and small, should be and can be contributing to reconciliation in ways that are both meaningful and important to them, but also that connect with Indigenous communities relevant to them. And that could be as simple as bringing their team together and looking at Indigenous cultural training. There's a whole range of online resources, films, documentaries that people could be engaging with, inviting an Indigenous person potentially relevant to their industry to come and share and have a yarn. I think for businesses early in the piece, it's just really about listening. How can they start the process of thinking about what's important for them and then bringing Indigenous people into their world, into their circle, and sitting and having a conversation? That's the starting point. Every organisation can do that. And organisations that have more experience and more connection points with Indigenous communities should be doing, ideally engaging with Indigenous people potentially on country, connecting with Indigenous organisations, could be volunteering. There's a whole range of ways in which people can connect during Reconciliation Week. That can be both virtually and in person as well. But ideally, we want non-Indigenous people to be listening and to be understanding better the history of our country. And what we find when people do that, then they're able to kind of unpack the learnings that they need and they build upon that. Most of the businesses that are involved don't have someone in a full-time role that leads their RAP. It's often a part of their role. And so when you're sitting in those roles, you're somewhat isolated from the broader movement that is reconciliation. And so we're able to sit in a room and everyone share yarn, share challenges, share where they're at, and feel that they're part of a community. Bringing people together gave them that instant sense of, I'm part of the tourism industry, but I'm also part of the work we're all trying to do to progress reconciliation. And it's a great opportunity for everyone to talk with businesses, potentially at the same point as them, but to hear from other organisations like Tourism Australia, like Qantas, like Intrepid, like NRMA, who are further down the track. so they can take on some of the learnings. Well, I think the first point is connecting with and listening and talking to the local Aboriginal communities that they engage with, whether they're the communities that they already have a relationship with, whether it's Indigenous people that work with them, whether it's new markets, there's opportunities there. Building a relationship and actually working out what their needs are. Often businesses, not just tourism businesses, but businesses in general, think about their needs first and think about what fits into their plan and what they'd like to see. But the real benefit should be, what do Indigenous communities need? How can we assist that? Is a tourism experience in partnership with them? Is that something they want to do? Is that something that benefits them? Because then that will enrich the relationship from the beginning. When you actually go in openly asking, can we get to know you more? Can we understand more about your needs? Can we share who we are? And then see what grows from that.